Duck hunting is one of the most popular hobbies around here. According to Delta Waterfowl, July 29th, 2021, there was 989,500 active hunters in the 2020-2021 hunting season. Because I've been hunting since I was a little kid, and along with my research from Delta Waterfowl, Wide Open Spaces, and Ducks Unlimited, I feel that I'm very qualified to be talking about this today. Today I'll be discussing the different types of ducks, how they act in seasons, and how to properly hunt them. According to Wide Open Spaces, September 24th, 2021, identifying ducks is one of the hardest aspects of duck hunting. You need to make sure you do it right. I'm now going to talk about all the ducks that you'll encounter hunting in the southern United States. First up is the wood duck. It's one of the prettiest ducks in the world. It's spotty around the United States, but it usually has a year-round season on the West Coast and parts of the southern United States. They were nearly hunted to extinction back in the day, but American conservation movements helped bring the species back to its normal numbers. Next is the mallard. This is one of the most recognizable ducks that you'll see. They're all over North America, and they're the most populated ducks, and you'll usually shoot a few every hunt. Next is the pintail. Like the mallard, it's a very popular duck and everybody knows. They're also located all over the United States, but they're not very popular down south. You know you've had a good hunt whenever you shoot a pintail. Next is the teal. There's three types of teal. There's a blue-winged teal on the top left, green-winged teal on the right, and a cinnamon teal on the left, bottom left. Teal are the first ducks to migrate down, and they usually have a short season. At the beginning of the season, you'll encounter thousands, and by the end of the season, you'll see 10. Teal also go down to deep South America and Central America, and they're the only ducks that do that. Next is the canvasback. Canvasbacks are the biggest ducks, and it's very common for them to be over 3 pounds as an adult. There's millions located all over North America, and they're also just like the pintail. They're very good to shoot. Next is the gadwall. Gadwall are located all over the world, and if you duck hunt, you'll shoot a gadwall every hunt. There's millions harvested every year, yet their population numbers still rise. You can find them in Asia, North America, South America, or anywhere around the world. Next is the widgeon. Widgeon are different. They usually breed in Canada, but then when they migrate, they go down to South United States and around the coast. And last is the mandarin duck. This is the prettiest duck, but you'll never shoot one if you hunt anywhere that's not Eastern Asia. Now that you know about the different types of duck, let's talk about what they do in certain seasons. According to Ducks Unlimited 2021, migratory waterfowl are among the most complicated creatures in nature. And that's why there's a set season for them. In the early fall, they leave the wetlands, congregate with other waterfowl in larger bodies of water, and then they start to organize with their own species to make flocks and get ready for migration. In mid to late fall, the cold weather starts to come through, and that starts to push them down towards the south. During this time, they're drawn to large wetlands for safety and food. During the winter, most of them have reached their wintering grounds. They're looking for large wetlands with a lot of cover so they can start their breeding and find a lot of food and safety. Now that you know how to think like a duck, let's talk about how to hunt them. Ducks Unlimited has provided a few tips for hunting in 2020. And I'm going to share these with you today. The first tip they talked about was fighting the ice. Ice can be good and bad for hunting, but you usually want to create a small pocket for them to land in, and hopefully if there's no hunters around you, that's the only pocket that they'll land. The next tip is wearing camo. You obviously want to wear camo when you're hunting, because no duck is going to go to something that's going to kill them. The next tip is patience. You don't want to shoot too early, because in the morning ducks are coming off roosts, and if you scare them all up off the roost, they're going to get up and leave the area. If you wait, then hopefully the ducks that you don't scare will come to you. The next tip is to stay late. Ducks usually fly early morning, and then they have a second flight later in the day. If you leave around 8, you're going to miss this flight. It's important to stay there and make sure you get all the ducks that are going to come to your spot. Next is you need to know the wind. The only time the wind is going to hurt you is when it's blowing into your face, because ducks like to land against the wind, and if they're coming straight at you, they're going to be looking right into the end of your barrel. That's going to scare them off, and you need to make sure you set your decoys up in a way to make them land away from you to where they won't be able to see you. Today I've talked about my favorite hobby with duck hunting, while highlighting the different kinds of ducks, their actions and seasons, and tips to hunt them. After learning this information, hopefully you can go out and have some fun yourself.